Yo, what is up, YouTube? This is WWE for Life, and we are here with our WrestleMania 30 review slash podcast here. I am the Phoenix here with Heel Claudia and Mike the Mike. Would you fine gentlemen would like to say hi?
What's up, yo?
What up?
Okay.
It's Mike the Mike, what's up?
Yeah, Mike the Mike is Michael, of course. Heel Claudia is Hayes. And yeah, let's get started. So we're gonna go get started up in here. Wait. First, before we talk about anything, I want to talk about the stage design. That fucking stage design was amazing, like badass. I think
Very awesome.
I think WrestleMania 28 is a number 2, and WrestleMania 27 is number 3. Like WrestleMania 30 just kind of beat them all.
Well, WrestleMania 30, I don't want to say it's the best, but like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I honestly think it was the best. Maybe it was just because of like the little WrestleMania 30 like Titantron thingy where like they had all the colors on there.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not gonna call it the best, but it was definitely up there if it wasn't the best stage design.
It was awesome. It
was
done perfectly well. Yeah.
It's a close between 28 and 30 as the best. I
like 30 way better than 28. Maybe
29 was good too.
Yeah, number 9. Like I think just because it was like all Coliseum like that's one that kind of sticks in mind. WrestleMania 9 was actually god awful, but the stage looked cool. Like the actual set looked cool.
Yeah, I remember watching it. It was an awesome stage, but the actual matches were terrible.
Yeah, like WrestleMania was god awful.
The stage was awesome. Like it had the bridge and everything.
Yeah. Everything 29's was pretty cool with the New York thingy.
Yeah, MetLife Stadium. But did anybody notice that this WrestleMania was the only one that didn't have the little 4 pillar things holding up the
I think that there was other ones that was like that, but yeah, that was definitely a good thing because I know that a lot of people like in attendance like how shitty would it be to get a seat behind that pole? Like that would be the shittiest thing ever.
Just like the Royal Rumble and after, how shitty would it be to get a seat right behind that sign?
That would
like
be
that's not even worth
shitty.
buying a seat for.
Yeah, like that isn't worth anything. Like that's
right. Like I just caught a shoulder. I just caught a you know, it's like
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go start talking about the actual card. We're going to go talk about the pre-show match, the Tag Team Championship between the Usos versus Los Matadores versus Ryback versus the Real Americans in a fatal 4-way tag elimination match for the championship. I didn't actually know that this was elimination. I think that it was announced last second or something like that. But
yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was definitely really good. Great way for a pre-show to like start. I think that it was good.
I was going to start off by pointing out the Usos' new tattoos that they had to have got after Monday. And they was taking so many chops on their new tattoos that it made my chest hurt.
I actually didn't see... I didn't actually notice the new tattoos. Maybe it's because I was watching the pre-show itself on my iPad. So.
Like, at first I thought it was just Jimmy with the new tattoos. Because I only saw his at first. And then, like, Jay's in the ring, and I'm like... Wait, Jimmy don't have 2 full sleeves. He has 1 sleeve and a half sleeve. And I was like, oh my god, they both have new tattoos on their chest. And I'm just like...
That must have been pretty shitty timing to get new tattoos for the fact of it's going to hurt like a bitch at WrestleMania.
And did anybody notice did anybody notice Ryback actually got a song for their tag team?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I noticed that too. It was pretty cool. Like, I don't know if I just didn't notice that before, but... It's a pretty good song. Like I actually like the song. I think that it means they're gonna be a tag team for a little bit.
It's cool. I just don't have to see them. They're never gonna get a push. That's the problem. I mean, you know.
I like Curtis Axel, and I wasn't a Ryback fan, but him on his Twitter and his YouTube is just so fucking funny that I'm actually becoming a Ryback fan, just for the fact of those.
He's hilarious.
Ryback is a dipshit. He tweets and then deletes the tweet.
I love because he's known as a troll. Like I love that it said that he kept on saying like Ryback rules or I rule during that match. I thought it was pretty funny. Right. Real Americans ended up getting 2 tag eliminations. They eliminated Los Matadores first, then they eliminated Ryback, and then Usos ended up beating Real Americans during that match. But I definitely think that it made Real Americans and Usos look strong, even though Real Americans basically had their breakup afterwards. And
yeah, they're done.
Yeah, they're basically done. I think that they're gonna have a thing on Monday, and they're gonna fully break up tomorrow and have a big thing, because Raw after WrestleMania is always gigantic.
I like how after the breakup, Cesaro still used their theme song, and on the pre-show after they broke up, after he said "I'm done with you guys," he still put his hand over his heart and said "We the people."
Well, yeah, I know, because like I think that he just said it to Jack Swagger. He might have said it to both, and I might have just messed up there. But I actually think he just did it to Jack Swagger.
Cesaro is so over right now. He could, like I said the other night, Cesaro swing a 5-year-old kid, and the fans would be cheering for him. It's like he's just so over right now that
Yeah, I love Cesaro. Really... I think Cesaro is probably my favorite besides Daniel Bryan right now. I was actually thinking like I actually might like him better than Bryan himself, but I don't know. Cesaro, I'm a huge supporter of. Definitely one of the best in the business in my mind, and I'm so glad that he won that match. Later on, that we'll talk about. But yeah, definitely great.
I think I like Cesaro. Like he's really changed my mind over the past probably month and a half about how I feel about him.
I actually loved him ever since, like even when no one liked him. When does anybody remember? I think it might have been Oksana or some girl where he was like he came out with, and then he was like, I can say like hello or something like that in so many different languages.
Different languages, yeah.
Yeah, when he was U.S. champion.
Yeah, I actually loved him during that stage when nobody really liked him. I wasn't like
he beat for that time?
I don't know who he beat. Maybe it was Miz. It might have been Miz.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when he did that little Miz barricade thing when he kept on, like, swinging him and then, like, basically just smashing him.
You're right.
I remember that. That was pretty hilarious way back when. But yeah, straying off topic here, great tag titles match. One of the best pre-show matches I've actually seen. Maybe the best pre-show match. Usually pre-show matches aren't too special. But it was good. Usos retained. I didn't think that they were going to lose. And yeah, let's go get started to the actual WrestleMania 30 card. Now, first it started off with a segment that Hulk Hogan talking. He was basically just like promoting everything. He called the Superdome the Silver Dome, and he actually kept on going on, and it was so embarrassing and hilarious. But then he finally got it and fixed it, and then. Yeah, so that was good.
You know what? I actually think it added some charm to it because he was just reflecting on the fact that, like, the Pontiac Silverdome, and then like The Rock and Stone Cold were busting his ass about it.
Yeah,
it was more like just like
Then anyways, Hulk Hogan. After him, Stone Cold came out. Glass mask. We finally figured out what Stone Cold was doing at WrestleMania. Not really what we kind of hoped for, but it was a great segment. Right. He came out, talked about Canada whoop ass, hilarious. Then Rock came out, huge pop. I was actually, this is the one time where I'm actually really happy to see him, acceptable. And then he starts talking about like the greats and how he loves them, and basically just all that jazz, busting Hulk Hogan's ass, and they all ended it with a beer. Yeah, actually, I think they each had two beers, and Stone Cold himself had 3 beers just because he's cool like that. And
Right.
Yeah, but it was a pretty badass segment. What do you guys think of that?
I thought it was pretty well done. Honestly, I think you couldn't have 3 bigger guys. The Rock and Stone Cold epitomized the Attitude Era. They were the icons of that era, and Hulk Hogan was just, whether you love him or whether you hate him, he was one of the guys that started the business. I mean, there wouldn't be a WWE if it wasn't for him. So,
gotta give props to him. I do love the fact that definitely one of the best segments, and I loved how it was definitely a WrestleMania moment for sure that we'll always remember and look back on. Which I love how they did that also.
You guys might know I'm not the biggest fan of anybody really except Stone Cold.
Yeah, I'm not really I'm not the biggest fan of.
I think the whole segment was, I can't find the word, like, it was appropriate for the situation. 30 years in the making. And these are, like, you gotta think, from WrestleMania 1 to 10 was kind of Hogan being the big star, then from, like, 10 to 20 was kind of, really from 10 to 15 it was Stone Cold, and then 15 to 20 it was The Rock.
Right.
So,
or around
like,
there.
it was
yeah.
And, like, the only thing that could have made that moment better was with John Cena, because from 20 to 30, it was kind of John Cena as the big guy there.
I think it would have. I think it would have been pretty hilarious too to see. I can see why they didn't have him out because of the Bray Wyatt whole, like, him being dark and everything. But it would have been pretty hilarious to see, like, John Cena just chug 2 beers with them. I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Would have definitely been really badass.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but
like the power.
The Rock and John Cena legitimately hate each other in real life.
Right.
Oh yeah, you can tell. You can tell the little arm raise that Rock did to Cena at WrestleMania 29 was just complete fake. Like,
yeah, like you know that had to kill both of them to have to walk up that stage together like they did and hold the title up.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, well, anyways, I think it was a well done segment. Great way to open up WrestleMania 30. I think we all kind of think that way. Let's go on to the first match of the night, Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Oh, these WrestleMania moments keep on coming in with Triple H's entrance. I want to talk about that. Triple H's entrance was pretty freaking badass, in my opinion. I loved how they made him look like the evil King of Kings. I loved how he went back to the game's music, too, and not like his corporate authority music. I loved that.
Right.
And
Phoenix, not to interrupt or like kind of like gloat or anything, but on our podcast after Raw, I told you it was going to be the first match of the night.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be third. Like, I think that it still would have been better booking for the third match, but they wanted to make, like, Daniel Bryan look hurt, like, and just kind of kayfabe it, which I see, but I don't know. I still think it would have fit better if the Battle Memorial was first. And then, well, maybe they put that third also for the fact that Cesaro just competed on the pre-show. They might have did that also.
True.
Yeah. Now, one problem I do, well, I'll talk about it when we get there. But that match, like, it started off slow. Like, it didn't feel like a Mania match, which half the matches at Mania to me didn't feel like a Mania match, just because the crowd, like, me and Mike was talking about it, and, like, we was like, this match doesn't really feel like a Mania match. And it wasn't because there was no action, because there was a lot of action. It's the crowd didn't seem into it.
Well, I think the crowd was very into the Daniel Bryan Triple H match past the halfway waypoint. Like, they were really into it. It also might have been, like, if I'm just going to tell the fans this. I watched this in a theater. So, like, it was a jam-packed theater, and we all watched it on the big screen. And everyone there was even into it. Like, there's people chanting, like, we the people freaking out, people, like, screaming, and just, like, 2 counts. Like, it was great. It was like you're actually kind of, like, in a little mini arena. And just to watch it in the big screen and everything like that. But it might have just been that kind of altered, but, like, the crowd was fairly, like, good after the halfway point. And definitely, like, extremely good. I think that.
I don't know how many people noticed it, but the Brock Lesnar guy that wears the same shirt, he was on Monday Night Raw too.
Yeah. I think he wears the same shirt every time he goes to a WWE event, just because.
Like,
I'm pretty sure.
I remember the first time that people actually started noticing him was when Brock Lesnar came back and he did that little, like, roar kind of fucking thrust thing.
Yeah. Whatever Brock Lesnar does when he walks down a ramp, he did that.
Yeah, he was like the roar guy, or I don't even know how to explain him.
I'm just thinking, how much money does this guy have? I mean,
a lot.
He's got to be high up in, like, a corporate level where he can just take any day off that he wants, because if he's a pipeliner or something, you don't get time off like that all the time. So he has to be somewhere up in the corporate.
Or maybe he just had, like, a very rich grandmother that inherited a bunch of money. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna spend this all on going to see WWE events.
I feel like this guy is a dick in real life and just like the. Like, bitch, why do you have to have a front row motherfucking seat to everything and rub it into people like me or in this podcast that can't get a fucking plane ticket to New Orleans, let alone front row seats to Mania.
Yeah.
Maybe he lives in New Orleans, and when Brock Lesnar came back.
He was in Chicago twice, and he was there when Brock Lesnar came back.
When did, like, does anyone know the place that when Brock Lesnar came back? I remember it was a Raw after Mania, but I don't remember where.
I think it was in Miami because they always have the next Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
in the same
yeah. You might be right there.
So I'm pretty sure it was in Miami Heat's.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're getting very off topic here. As Triple H and Daniel Bryan were talking about Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, so much.
Well, Hayes hates that guy. I like how there's a lot of memes of him now, though. I see a lot of memes of him. But anyways, very well done match, I find. Maybe like at first it was slow paced, but of course, at first maybe like every match is kind of slow paced. Got very good near the end. I think got a great finish when he just kind of reversed that into a running knee. I would have think because they kept on talking about Triple H being so dominant. I think that maybe Triple H should have kicked out there, and I really don't know how the finish would have been. If not that though, but like I think that Triple H should have kicked out at least one running knee and then get another and then maybe ended there. But of course, you got to keep on schedule like of time and like time well-being of both superstars because they got to go. He has to go be in a triple threat match later also, and you got to keep in mind of all these different things.
I'll tell you how I think it would have ended better personally. I think it was a great match. I think it was definitely if I had to go like out of 10, it was definitely an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10 between Daniel Bryan and Triple H. But if I had to pick a finish for it, I would have rather seen Triple H tap out to do
Well, Triple H isn't gonna make himself look that weak. He is the barrier of people. He doesn't want to tap out.
But he put him in it a few times though. It wasn't like once or twice. He put him in the S-lock like 2 or 3 times that match.
Yeah. He doesn't want to tap out to a troll in his mind. So I could see why he won off the pin.
One thing I do have to say about Triple H in this match is why all of a sudden 2 cross faces. And me and Mike was talking about it. He said maybe trying to rub it in Daniel Bryan's face. And I'm like, well, the cross face and the bell lock, they're similar. But it's the leg placement and arm placement. Right. One, your leg goes over, and the other, your arm goes through the leg.
Yeah.
Like, if you look up the crossface versus the label lock, which is the S-lock, you'll clearly see that there's a difference in the way the arms and legs are.
Yep. But yeah, I think that was a very well done match. Great way to open, like, for a match for Mania. And
yes, it was.
I would give the match, I'm going to give that match a 9 out of 10. It wasn't the best match, but it was definitely a great match and definitely a good match to open up Mania. So Hayes, what's your score?
I'm gonna give the score. What's it out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, just because of Triple H hit like 6 pedigrees. That's an exaggeration. Like 2.
Yeah, I think it was just 2.
And Daniel Bryan hit 1 running knee.
Well, it makes Daniel Bryan look powerful, and it makes it kind of makes Triple H look weak. I think that it should have been another running knee.
Hyped up.
Punched his freaking shoulder though. I mean, he punished his shoulder. Kayfabe punished his shoulder pretty bad that match, so it made it look more like he's going to be the underdog, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So.
But something completely off topic, how would you rate Triple H's entrance out of 10?
Honestly, I would give it a 10. Like, his entrance was so badass. Like, I loved how they did everything and brought back his old song. And I liked how when he took off that fucking helmet, he just stared at that camera so intensely. Like, I would give his entrance a 10.
Yeah, I would give it at least a 9 or a 10. It was pretty awesome.
It was pretty good awesome to hear the game music again.
Yeah, it was pretty badass. Yeah. So the match, a 9 for me. Entrance, a 10. Hayes, it's a 7 for the match still, I'm assuming. And what do you give the entrance?
I'm giving the entrance a 10.
Okay. Mike, entrance, and then match. I love how we're giving this entrance a score.
Match, I'm going to give it an 8.5 or a 9. It was right there, like, on the line. And for the entrance, definitely a 10. Definitely a 10 all the way. When he came out, it was the King of Kings. It was awesome. He was the game, and that's what I wanted to see, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now Shield versus New Age Outlaws and Kane, probably the worst match of the night. Not that it's their fault. It was just kind of quick and to the point. But I like the Shield's. First of all, let's just kind of talk about the Shield's outfits. And yeah, I ever noticed that they started wearing masks and they changed their little kind of vests. You guys have any opinions on those?
Wait, they wore masks out?
Yeah, they wore these like little mask things. It kind of reminded me of COD Ghosts or the promoting of COD Ghosts, if you guys know that.
Right, yes.
Well, you see, because I kind of went to the bathroom in between match. I didn't think it was going to start up that quick. I tried to hurry.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't see the entrance. Like, I came back, and, like, one of the first things I saw when he came back was, like, Roman Reigns when he hit the diving. It was supposed to be that drop kick to Billy Gunn and Road Dogg.
Right.
But he kind of just fucked that up altogether. But that's what happens when one's hanging over the middle rope and one's hanging where he's supposed to hang.
Oh, yeah, that was near the beginning of the match. It wasn't too far.
Another side note is, what the fuck was Billy Gunn doing with his hair?
I don't know. He just kind of had it there.
Like, that entire match... Yeah, that entire match to me was just rushed. It didn't seem to have any, like, real, like...
Yeah, like, it didn't feel like a Mania match. Like, it wouldn't even feel like... It felt like a match that they would throw on Raw that wouldn't even be that good.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like a...
Like, most of the matches tonight, like, I felt that, like, they are, like, Mania-worthy, but, like, that match itself was not Mania-worthy at all. Like, I don't even think it would be, like, Raw main event-worthy at that.
Like,
no.
But, yeah, like, I don't know.
I feel like, in their defense, though, the build-up to their match really was... The build-up to their match was mainly on SmackDown, so, I mean, when your build-up is on SmackDown, you gotta kind of think that the match that they're building up isn't going to be great.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know, they never built it up, like, I don't know. I don't know if it, like, I do think that they just kind of had it on Mania just to kind of give Shield a win and have Kane and them there. I don't think it really had too much of a point. Now, let's give this a score. Wait. For some splice or some spice, not splice. I'm thinking I'm playing Bioshock here. But let's rate the Shield's new. Let's rate the Shield's new outfits, and then we'll rate the match itself.
I really only saw Roman's outfit, but I know I didn't like it, so.
Okay, I wasn't actually too big of a fan of the new outfits, but they aren't bad either. I don't know if it was just for Mania or if it's new permanent outfits. I could see it being new permanent outfits. I'm gonna rate the outfits 7 out of 10. Match, in the famous words of Bret Hart, 4 out of 10.
I'm not gonna rate the outfit because I really didn't see any outfit but Roman's. I'll rate Roman's like a 3 because I just didn't like the plastic look of the vest.
Yeah.
So it's a 3. But the match, I'm gonna give a 6 just because in the time that they was given to do the match, they didn't do horrible.
The time that the match was like pretty good, but I don't even think that they should have had that match with that time. You know, like if they're gonna throw them on the card, at least give them the amount of time that they had against Sheamus, Randy, and Big Show at last year's Mania.
Yeah, it just seemed very, very rushed. For me, the outfits, I'd give like a 6. The match, I'd give like maybe a 5.
Okay. So we got a 4, 5, and a 6 for scores for the match.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the match was just very rushed. It was very incohesive. It was just rushed. You could just tell it was rushed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now let's go to the next match. A very good match of that, I find. The Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. If you guys noticed, they had a bunch of people that I don't remember big at all, but like they had Yoshi Tatsu there. They had Yoshitatsu's on NXT, I believe, right now, so they did have an NXT guy get up. They didn't have Alexander Rusev. I think that they should have had Alexander Rusev there. And they didn't have... They had David Otunga, and they added Cesaro, who ended up winning it, but... if you guys notice, Alberto Del Rio, I think he had the most eliminations. I don't know the stats at all. I didn't keep track.
Dude,
but
he was running. Actually, Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler were both really. They did awesome in that match. I mean, even Dolph did really well.
I think that Alberto did very well for that match. I didn't expect Alberto to really do anything, but I think Alberto was one of the stars in that match. Big Show did well in that match, of course. Everybody thought Big Show was gonna win, but he didn't. Cesaro won, which I fucking loved. I loved the ending to it too. I think. Before we talk about the ending to the match, let's talk about Kofi's little save.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I don't think it was as good as some Royal Rumble moments, but it was epic. Basically, he got thrown over the top rope, and he landed, but like his feet barely fucking touched the stairs, like barely. But they still weren't on the floor, so he was still in the match, and it was just epic of how that happened and how he stayed. And when he
that is Kofi's MO. He does it at the Royal Rumble. He does it everywhere.
Yeah, and I loved how when he came in.
What I like about this match was I know they said Battle Royal, but since it was 30-man, I was getting under the impression, okay, this is gonna be a Royal Rumble kind of deal.
Oh no, I didn't know that because they said Battle Royal. So when the
30-man thing kind of threw me off guard. So I don't like the fact that they had that many maybe start off with more than 2 in the ring, but kind of do a Royal Rumble kind of thing and have people come out maybe every 30 seconds.
I don't know. I would have preferred something like that, but it's known as a Battle Royal, and Battle Royals, everyone starts off in the ring. Everyone kind of knows that it's a Battle Royal. So I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, I think I would rather have maybe a Royal Rumble type deal, but they wouldn't have the time for that because the Royal Rumble match itself is an hour. I think this was 20 minutes, maybe 15 at max.
I think it was maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah,
around there. But I think it was very well done. I think Final 6. Actually, I'm not going to go to that. But Final 4 was Sheamus, Alberto, Big Show, and Cesaro. And Sheamus and Alberto ended up eliminating each other, and they both got out at the same time. And it was down to Cesaro and Big Show. I really wanted Cesaro to win, but I highly doubted it. But Cesaro did winning. It was such a cool ending too. Cesaro ended up uppercutting it, but then he did this perfect suplex or I don't even know if you would call it a suplex. I forget what the move itself is called. But it was the perfect one that Hulk Hogan did to Andre the Giant. And
Body slam.
Body slam. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But it was a perfect body slam to it reminded me of WrestleMania 3, which I think that they were going for with the Hulk Hogan to Andre the Giant that Cesaro did to Big Show. It was just perfect way to end it, I find. I love how Cesaro won. Cesaro's so over one of my favorite guys in the business right now. And I fucking love how he won and how he won. I give the match probably an 8.5. Because I gave the Triple H Daniel one. I don't think it was as good as that. I'll give it an 8.5 though. Very well done. I love how Kofi did that little save thing, and it felt like a Mania match to me itself. So Hayes, what do you score the match?
I'm gonna score it an 8 just because of the shock factor that they gave us. Cesaro wasn't even in the talks for winning. Nobody even.
It wasn't even the talks of being in the match.
Yeah, and then he just comes out of nowhere and wins it, and
Yeah.
The shock factor just made it all. I'm watching this Big Show and Cesaro go at it.
Actually, I'm gonna change my score. I'm changing it to a 9. I'm just
thinking this whole time okay, Cesaro isn't gonna win this. It's gonna be Big Show clearly.
Yeah.
Cesaro this whole time's I'm going to uppercut you, or not uppercut, clothesline you over the ropes, and he's not moving. And, I'm okay, yes, Cesaro's not going to win. And then,
Big Show goes for that choke slam, and then it kind of turns into, I forget what Cesaro turned it into, but it was epic. And then the whole match itself was just very epic, and the finish was epic.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 myself. Mike, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9. Mostly based on it was a great match. I think it was very well done. And I think that the memorial, it was definitely an homage to when Hulk body slammed Andre. They gave Cesaro his moment. And he came out, he slammed the Big Show clean. It wasn't like a cheap slam. It was a over the head, and he held him there for like 2 or 3 seconds and then slammed him. And then I definitely give it a 9 all the way, dude. It was
Yeah, 9 out of 10. So yeah, great match, very well done, better than I thought, because I think it would have just been obvious Big Show win, and there was just a lot of shock factor. Now next to Cena versus Wyatt. Now not as good as Daniel Bryan or Triple H or even the Battle Royal, but I still think it was a well done match. I didn't like the outcome of it, but it was well done. I liked how it looked. Bray Wyatt looked dominant. I like how it kind of pushed the monster out of John Cena. I think that Bray Wyatt will have that monster pushed out of John Cena. I just don't know when it will be, but I know that we will see Cena just go ballistic, and it will probably get a huge pop.
I don't know who all saw this, but did anybody see John Cena hit that perfect drop kick?
Yeah, he hit that drop kick perfect. Wait. First, before we get into the match, even though we already did, let's talk about Bray Wyatt's fucking entrance. Of how magnificent that entrance was. I love how they got the band to play. I love how they got that dancer to go do creepy fucking machete fucking dancing. Well, you gotta
think, it's in New Orleans, so of course, like New Orleans, it's known New Orleans is big on the voodoo shit, so, like, it